Hello, today we're going to be discussing, is this a rocky recovery or is it going to be another downfall, and what can we expect from a couple of coins that we're going to kind of go over some analysis today. Ethereum is trading around 1,342, just not as strong as it was before, especially coming post-merge, but it's kind of what we have giving the market today, and that's all across the board. I mean, that's everywhere. So we're still hanging below the 200 EMA, still a bear market technically. We're kind of bouncing around what we can call a, honestly, we're in a range if we're looking at the daily time frame. This is not really changing so much. I mean, if we're going to call this the area of support, right? Kind of hanging out right here. This is a good area to kind of call and make it pretty safe. Right around between 13 and 1200, right? I mean, give or take. It's not really going to be so much. Let me just move this up a little bit. Here we go. All right. And it's not so strong when we're looking from the daily, but if we're looking really kind of connecting from here, the beginning in that range, bouncing around, that's what we have. We are moving in. You can see there is a bit of a power struggle. It is rejecting to go lower, and it looks like it is starting to kind of reverse a little bit in a positive aspect. The MACD kind of, I know a lot of guys don't like to go by that, but the MACD does show that little minute, what, $5, $10 kind of jumping here. I think if that moment you're going to see some more resistance around 1435. Not very strong, but that's kind of a good area to kind of pay attention to. And of course 1568, and coming into around 1777, right? Good number. Moving in that, we really need to see some push. It's very weak, but it kind of looks like it's going to start consolidating and could push up further if things start to look a little bit better. And that's kind of that case. So right now you can be expecting to be trading between 1439 and anywhere from 1200. And I wouldn't be surprised if it falls down to 12 or 1100 coming soon. But we definitely want to stay away from the 1000 level. And this is a strong possibility as well. The last time that we had something like this was right around in here, and it dipped pretty low. And of course, coming back into February, that moment, and in July, we had that same kind of build-up coming in here. Now, July, on the upside, to give you some positive news, it did actually pump up pretty strong. But when I say July, right, we're talking about February, this kind of time, right? So, July, January, we had that push up, but then, of course, everything just went to hell and back. We did touch here, that double bottom. It did come up. It did pump up to around 1900. That's what we needed to see. Fell back down, retouched around 1789, 1708, right? But now this is where we are. If we are in positive, we can see that touch back to that level, roughly around here, if everything goes good. But realistically speaking, to be at 1600 is more likely to where you're going to be, right around this area. Let's cover Cardano, right? Cardano is also the same thing, fighting. It is resisting as well. It's resisting that support. It's not wanting to hang out, but it is a little stronger. You can see, I mean, between 40 cents, 45 is kind of all in that same area right here. That's really giving that push. Another good stop you're going to see too that it's going to be a good resistance is around 48.50. So we're going to be hanging out for here for a while. So I'm assuming that hanging from 44 cents to 48 is going to be the norm, honestly. I mean, and you can see if we're talking about the highs of the day is 48 here. We reached that, what, the 23rd. This is kind of like the maximum where we're kind of reaching at. Giving from like the September the 10th, right? We kind of got up to 51. It was a good pump from there to 50. And you also had the Vassal happening too. But it is stopping right around here. And the next stop I would expect would be around 41. And that's also very easy to reach. I mean, if you really think about it, that's very easy to reach. But it's pretty a hard line at 40. I mean, that's a pretty strong support level to kind of go in at. 41 and 3. honestly. So that's something where it's safe if we really start to touch back in this area, it would be a major moment, and you should really start paying attention to the 4-hour charts, the 1-hour chart, to see really kind of on top if she could go ahead and sell out. So stop losses around here would be a good idea. Say if it's at 40, I would say 38, 37 would be a good mark. But it is going in the downtrend. It's moving, of course, it's in a range, but it is showing that it's resisting any highs. And we even have this wonderful little beautiful candle right here. It's kind of undecided a little bit, but it did get rejected, which was a good sign. The next day or two, we really need to see that really push in up into a good momentum candle coming in. But I don't really see that happening. I think, honestly, we're going to see it continue to drop down, and I would expect around 42 at least. 42, 41. Not really much. It's still, I mean, if you're going for long, that's it's not so bad. But I think this is something that's a good time to short, honestly, if you're hanging on to Cardano. Solana, right? One of my favorites. It is building, well, it started to kind of build some momentum, actually, right? It started to reject that kind of change right here on the 28th. The 29th is kind of playing around a little bit, but it's starting to build a really, really small momentum candle. We want to see it touch 37 bucks. It's around 33 right now, which is a good possibility. But the problem with that, around 38 or so, this little level here, we're going to pay attention. 36 even, you're going to see some resistance. So don't really get scared off on that one. It's not too strong. But this is the one I'd be watching out for right here, because we have support and resistance kind of playing its game right here. So being that support and being this resistance, that's something that's going to be a little strength to kind of really get moving up past. And then again at 40 bucks, but 40, 44, and anywhere between 45. So let's say from 40 bucks to, let's say, around 46. That $6 leeway is really going to be pushing in. So it's a good time, but when you start reaching these points, to kind of be playing in and seeing what's going on. As far as it's moving in, it's starting to change and go to the uptrend, right? For some highs, we really need to see some retracements coming back, and that's where it's really going to give us an idea about if it's going to be a permanent uptrend or not. But hopefully everything will move into this way, but it's kind of hard to call. I mean, we had this range kind of like sitting up, right, kind of consolidating a little bit, about bouncing back. We did jump, but it reversed with a really strong momentum candle down back into the range. So there's really strong rejection here. But here we can see the same thing, kept getting rejected, and now it's starting to build momentum, trying to push past that 35 level. And if we can get past that and move in and break past the 36, which is, I think, is also going to cause a little bit of a problem, but not too much. I mean, it's not going to be as strong as this one right here. From the 37, that's where we want to get past. So if it'll get past that and it's showing a good sign of an uptrend, and we break into that with a good momentum candle, I think we can expect a good moment. Or even if you're going to find your short opportunity if it reverses and starts building the momentum opposite. So that's something to kind of be paying attention to with Solana. But I'm hoping from what we see, it's just not strong enough yet. It's still very weak. Even though we have the momentum, it's still just very, very weak to really kind of call where is it going to go now. Because tomorrow, honestly, it can completely get rejected and go down. Even if we go to the 4-hour mark, right? You can see, I mean, it's barely doing anything here, but it is stronger. But it's very easy for it to reach down. Now, that's the point. Now, we can call that an uptrend on the 4-hour, but it's just not enough for me to really call anything above that. And usually when we get above the EMA here, the 200 EMA, you can see it's always getting rejected, right? And it's showing bullish. I mean, of course, of course, this is the bullish sign, right, hanging over 200, right, and it kind of touches down and it reverses up. That's a good thing. I'm not being negative here, but we just need to get past that moment right here. So, which is a good sign, is showing that it's in a bullish point right now, but it needs to come over. But I just believe that we're going to be faked out and be kind of sent a little further in. Even the hourly mark it's showing that it's actually losing some of that strength. It gained some, but it's starting to lose. We still have about 22 minutes. It could reverse and get a little bit stronger, which will be a good sign. But the 4-hour mark is going to give us that real clue on what to expect for the day as we're coming in. So just kind of pay attention to those. All right, guys. Thank you for joining, and I will see you guys next time.